Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing at the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So still in early access, and I'm against JonTaun again. So we're actually playing Vampire Coast against the High Elves. Basically, because he only just got it. Like, we were playing all of these games like 10 minutes after he finished installing it. So, yeah, he hadn't played Vampire Coast a lot, so he just wanted to play other stuff that he knew what they did and fight the Vampire Coast. It's just the best way to learn. So it's a lot of me playing Vampire Coast against JonTaun playing a variety of stuff at the moment, but it's all good fun. So here, we've got a front line of polearms. This seems to be my go-to front line, honestly. But I do have a depth guard in here, and I did bring some Rotting Prometheans. The Rotting Prometheans will be great against things like White Lions. And, no, that's Aranessa. These guys. They'll be great against things like White Lions and Swordmasters of Hoeth and anything like that. Very punchy. And they do actually have anti-large, the Rotting Prometheans, thanks to the fact that Aranessa stood next to them. So having Aranessa in this blob, it means I have a ton of anti-large, which is really cool. So I like that, you know, having her with something stocky like that. Because High Elves do struggle against armor, so if enemy cavalry are charging in, you know, to try and deal with the Rotting Prometheans, then, yeah, that armor is going to just negate a lot of that damage, and then they're going to actually be able to fight back with that armor piercing and the extra bonus of anti-large. So I think that's a fun combo that I want to, you know, try out a fair bit. Also, Scurvy Dogs. Scurvy Dogs are good for harassing archers. If I can get them in the back line, they can get some work done. The fact they're unbreakable is really handy. I also have the Shade Wraith Gunners. These guys are great for sniping out lords and heroes. Dragons take a lot of damage from them, for instance, so that's very nice. And yeah, the depth guard, they're going to be able to chew through all the front line, but they are very prone to missile fire. If they get focused down by missiles, they'll die very quickly. So I do have to be careful. I need to shut down his archers very fast to keep the depth guard going. Also, I have a couple of deck droppers with handguns. I find these guys, in this pick, they're good for shooting at cavalry, but they're a great distraction for archers, because of the arc of archers, because it's not just direct hits, like, you know, handguns or anything. Yeah, they can avoid stuff quite a lot. You know, a big arc will come over, and you just move them back a bit, and they'll all land short. It's very easy for these guys to avoid arrow fire, so they make a great distraction, and can whittle things down a lot. So I like that. So here you can see Illyrian Reavers are in the back, which is annoying. I did not realise. Oh, anyway. But there's a load of spearmen, white lions, Loathen Sea Guard on the edges and in the middle, and a ton of archers. So he's got a lot of archers here, and a nice solid front line of white lions and spearmen. He's also the Lordmaster of Hoeth as a spellcaster. That anti-infantry is going to be very useful in the front line, and he's got some great spells there, so very nice. Also, he has Tyrion. So Tyrion is on a horse, so he's going to be very maneuverable. Great combat stats. He's been given a load more AP, which will be very handy, and the Sunfang will roast zombies. Once everything's bunched up in the front line, one Swordfang will kill just anything that it touches. It's deadly. So here, Shade Wraith Gunners are shooting the Lordmaster at Hoeth straight away. So let's speed this up. So annoyingly, these hounds, they would have actually been pretty good for catching those Illyrian Reavers out. But yeah, I just didn't think that he'd have done that for some reason. I don't know why I thought that was the case. But I did. I thought that was the case, which is annoying. That's very annoying for me, because my Shade Wraith Gunners, they're not going to be happy getting attacked by this stuff. So getting some good damage on the Lordmaster there. And he's a pretty small target too. So if I was going for Tyrion, I'd probably hit more. So I might have actually just gone for Tyrion, to be honest. Which I am now, so I should be able to hit him a bit better. Here I use the Spearfisher's Net, so he's taking damage from the artillery. Aranessa is coming in to devastating effect. And, yep, she's about to do her crazy Kung Fu flip attack, which melts stuff. So there we go. Huge amount of damage on Tyrion. He has a 101 melee attack, but Aranessa, with her buffs, yeah, she's got crazy high stats too. So he's being hunted down. The Spearfisher's Net is off, but Hornswoggle is going to slow him down too. And so he is getting a bit stuck in combat. And there we go. That is a dead Tyrion. Which, honestly, that does seem a bit much. I mean, she did take a lot of damage in kind, and she's been killed by archers. But, you know, the only reason I was able to get on top of him, too, was because I was very close to him, and I got the net on him. Because usually, she's so slow, the net runs out before she can travel all that far. So, it's not the best thing in the world. But, she did okay there. She definitely did well. I have been told, in the comments section, actually, I don't know where they saw it, but apparently that is big addressed that Aranessa can melt stuff. But honestly, I still think she needs to be able to beat lords like that on a horse. She needs to be able to do that, or there's no point bringing her. She has a terrible mount option, and she can't really do much else, frankly. So I'm still on the fence about it. I think that might be a bit overkill, but she still needs to be able to win in a fight like that. Even against Tyrion, she needs to be able to fight him off, I think. because that is her one purpose, is to deal with stuff like that. She doesn't have any other real utility, to be honest. I mean, that net is fine, but she can't really capitalize on it all that well. But anyway, so the Lordmaster of Hoeth got dragged down by a load of the units here, including Aranessa, again, which is, yeah, it's only really with the anti-large that you want her to be able to decimate things. So that is a bit much. I'll concede there. But still, she needs to be able to deal with stuff, you know, like large units. She has to do that. That has to be her role. So I hope it doesn't get nerfed to the ground. That's all I'm worried about. I just want it to be a considered nerf, not a ridiculous one. But anyway, here you can see pirate gunnery mobs I've summoned, so they're just going to be chasing this stuff. So I've got them all charging into melee, but they fire while chasing. They fire while moving. So here the hounds did keep the archers busy, and the rotting Prometheans have run off to the side. Here though, I'm taking a lot of missile fire. Managed to get the Spearfisher's net on the Illyrian Reavers, which is good for me. And now I'm charging in with Aranessa. That means Depth Guard with Anti-Large, which is pretty awesome, I've got to say. Alright, she does have that utility. I'll give you that much. But, I mean, it's a very defensive thing, you know? And, yeah, you don't want to be too defensive when there's a billion archers, right? So it makes it tough. Anyway, Depth Guard, they're getting shot at, rightly so. And unfortunately, my hounds are gone now over there, so I can't keep chasing. More archers are coming back, and this is a lot of ground to tread. It's very difficult to cover this amount of ground as the Vampire Coast. You really want to make sure you've got something that can chase things down, and those hounds were that. So that is tough. So here you can see a Spirit Leech on Aranessa. I have no healing, I don't think. Actually, yes, I do. Where is he? There he is. There we go, I did bring Law of Vampires, so I do have healing, so, but she's not undead, so I'm not sure I can even heal her. Huh, anyway. So, as you can see, Lawmaster nearly dead, and Earthblood just keeping him in the fight. And we smash into each other, and Aranessa goes down, and then he gets finished off by the guns. So, that's a pretty dramatic way for the Lawmaster to finish his career, but anyway. Here you can see the Depth Guard. They're doing pretty well against the White Lions, but under this missile pressure, it's really tough. You know, they are getting healed up by the hunger, but this is not ideal for them. You know, they are really hanging on by a thread here. Luckily, though, they can start getting some of the health back, thanks to being able to just butcher the White Lions. They still have the hunger active, but they're still getting shot at, so they're taking damage, and then healing it back up, and then taking it again, then healing it up again. But with them crumbling, there's also more damage. It's tough, but they're moving. So, over here, I've got my Rotting Prometheans fighting the Loathen Seaguard, and frankly, I feel like they should win this, just because they're so heavily armoured, and Loathen Seaguard kind of suck against armour. Sure, they got the anti-large, but they should suck against armour, right? But luckily, they have enough melee defense with martial prowess going that they are managing to shrug off a lot of the damage. So they are being very lucky here, I think, to hold out. And there is some archer support too, and that will actually add up. You know, they're pretty big targets. Most of those arrows are going to hit, and that will add up. Over here, polearms have been fighting spearmen for hours, because spearmen aren't very killy. So even crappy polearms are going to keep them at bay for a long time. Thank God, because I cannot have more stuff in here trying to fight me. So here, Depth Guard, almost gone, but they're still chasing down those Loathen Seaguard, and I just need to get them back into combat so the hunger can keep them healed. I need to get into this fight. This is really bad for me, and luckily I do just about catch him. He shoots at me a bit, though, so that's tough. Oh, now he's shooting at them, so that's better, I think. I think that's a summoned, yeah, it's a summoned unit, so that's fine. These guys shatter on the approach, which is great. I think these guys have also shattered. There'll be 4 left. Over here, I've got some deckhand mob just getting shot at. That's kind of fine for now. And over here, I'm trying to get my deck droppers to help out, get some shots into the Loathen Seaguard. Actually, I think I'm going for these archers. Yeah, I think I'm going for... Nope. No, it changed my mind. I want to get rid of the Illyrian Reavers. But I'm trying to find units that are vulnerable, basically. And unfortunately, my Depth Guard did finally give way, which really sucks for me. That is not good for me. Balance of power is slightly in my favour, but I'm surrounded by archers. I don't have anything quick anymore, apart from the deckhands. Not the deckhands, the deck droppers, which is tough. And they're almost out of ammo, and they're not great in melee. So, that's tough. And they're large targets, so the Loathen Seaguard will have defense against them. So, it's not ideal. So here, get 1 volley into the Spearman just to whittle them down some more. And my Vampire, I know, can finish them off. And they do actually shatter as a result of the Vampire being nearby. So these guys aren't going to keep moving. Still got my deckhands mob crumbling, but, you know, they're taking up a lot of arrows, which is good. And I'm trying to get these guys around the back to shoot into them. You can see the Loathen Seaguard have position to try and shoot into deck droppers. Nothing in my back line is safe anymore. But I'm trying to regroup. If I can just get rid of these guys, so I hit them with the taunt, because yeah, Vampire fleet captains do have taunt, and that will lower their speed a bit. So now I'm charging in, mainly just to delay them. I do want to pull my deck droppers back out of this fight in a second, because I don't want the anti-large hitting them, but I had to keep these guys bogged down. And their leadership is low, so I was hoping I could just finish it nice and quickly. So here, I'm pulling out the deck droppers as my fleet captain runs in, because my fleet captain will be able to deal with these guys pretty well. Amazingly, they still have... Nope, martial prowess is gone. I was about to say, amazingly, they still have martial prowess, and it went halfway through the sentence. But anyway, so they should break pretty soon. And now, regrouping all my guys. At this point, I have enough for an Invocation and a Heck, an overcasted one. So I just want to deal with these Loathen Seaguard, get all of my guys, all my chickens in a row, right? Or is it ducks? Or is it eggs? I don't know. I don't know the metaphor. Whatever. I'm going to get everyone in a blob, and I'm going to heal my entire army. Try and get as much value out of these guys as possible. I do want one of these deck droppers to keep chasing the Loathen Seaguard, though, because I just don't have the time to chase them again. I know they only have one volley left, but I need to kill them. So I'm going to keep chasing them until they shatter, and these guys are going to get a nice heal, and that will definitely help. You see, the balance of power is very much in my favour right now, but, you know, some good shots from all of these archers that have a ton of ammo, they can whittle down a lot of this stuff very quickly. But a big heal on these guys, and over here you can see these are almost shattered. Come on, just deal with them. So the balance of power is actually moving slightly in my favour as my models go up. Nope, models are still going down. I still have a unit crumbling because of the zombie deckhand summon. Anyway, but yeah, I am getting a lot of health back for these guys, and that has shifted the balance of power further. These guys shatter, and that's enough to trigger army losses, which is really anticlimactic. Just seriously? Seriously, elves? Like, you were fine. You guys could have... Oh, we had no ammo there, no spears, and a lot of ammo, like... Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. It's a bit silly, isn't it? Very anticlimactic. Very disappointing. But, hey, Death Guard did great. And the Hounds did great. And Aranessa, I mean, yeah, she killed Tyrion, so that's great. And she finished off the Lawmaster as well. Yeah, so yeah, she did great. Fleet Captain, he won the game just with an Invocation and a Heck. You never thought an Invocation and a Heck on its own. Like, sure, if stuff's in combat, it can be enough to keep that thing alive to be able to win. But literally just that spell going off was enough to win me the game, which seemed really strange. Seems really strange, healing yourself to victory. It's very strange. Did I mention it was strange? I'll go with a different word. It's odd. It's odd. But it happened. You saw it. You saw it, so you know it happened. And, yeah. So Shade Wraith Gunners, they got taken out pretty quickly. They're worth like 1100, so that was dumb of me. That was very dumb. But he managed to get some, you know, good damage into the heroes a bit to begin with. And, I mean, that's about all they did, to be honest. Yeah, I could have done that with any other unit. I could have brought, like, another unit of Depth Guard for the price. So, it's a bit of a pity, honestly. They just didn't really perform as well as I'd like. But then that's because I left them to get gobbled up by Illyrian Reavers. They suck in melee. All the deck gunners, they melt in seconds under a cavalry charge. Like, literally seconds. I'm not talking like, you know, 800 seconds. I mean like 4. They just don't do well in melee. Even being ethereal units with all that, you know, all that crazy physical resist, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. They are so flimsy that they will just die very, very quickly. So yeah, got to protect those. I had enough polearms, I could have just left a unit of polearms sat on top of them, because polearms will keep things bogged down for hours. So yeah, my bad, guys, my bad. But hey, it worked out in the end. It all worked out. Rotting Prometheans did fine. I mean, they're under a lot of missile fire, so it did draw a lot of their attention away from my Depth Guard, which performed. So, I don't know. I think this build is okay. I think it's alright. Just need to be a bit more careful in future, I think, with the Shade Wraith Gunners, and it's a pretty reliable build, I think. So, JonTaun's army, though, I think this is actually really good. I think if just Tyrion was nowhere near Aranessa, I would have lost this horribly. Because just, yeah, him fighting on the opposite wing, with his armor piercing, he could have dealt with the other Rotting Prometheans on the other side of the flank, got a ton of damage into all of that, kept regenerating Sunfang, and Sunfang could have wiped out my Depth Guard, wiped out my zombie deckhands. He could have just wiped everything out, frankly. He could have done great. And he could just use his archers to whittle down Aranessa. Or just spearmen, or, you know, charge her with Illyrian Reavers to knock her over. So yeah, it was all just an Aranessa. You know, people need to recognise her as a threat and keep away. That would have swung it completely. So guys, enough of me waffling. If you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.